Hello, hello. Welcome to the Daily Political Tarot and Astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you for being here. I'm here literally every single day of the year with you to take your political questions out of the chat. Just leave your questions in the chat before I come on. We have epic troll slayers who have kept us safe for years. Thank you. And we've got a fantastic community because you have been so kind to each other and so kind to me. Thank you. And if you're watching on replay, hello. You go down in you will be able to go down in the description box. I'm just having a quick look. Where is the description box? Where is the description box? You will be able to go down the description box. So will it save? Yeah, not at the moment, but I've got everything here. All right. If I make that bigger and I don't, okay. Mercury is mercurying because this thing split the view. Yeah, it split the view, and now on the one side, all I can see is, that was so weird. I'm having troubles. I'll get there, but okay, this is, how can I, separate views. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, I'm so sorry. Chrome just combined a bunch of stuff, but one of them was on the wrong page. I couldn't see what okay, I think I've got it. I'm so sorry. All right, okay, hi. Okay, I think we got it. All right, let's just jump in. I'm glad you like this. The important documents, the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, are going on tour here in the U.S. and questions rolled over for a couple of days. I'm sorry about that, but we're going to have a look at will they remain safe? Is it going to be okay? So we're going to look at that. So I just thought this might be a good thing. And right up front, I just want to remind everybody, or anybody who doesn't. Anybody in the world who doesn't know this, that we the people, that's the Constitution, but at the bottom of the Declaration of Independence, which is the one with the giant John Hancock signature. Yes, dear. And John Hancock famously, he made his signature so big because he said it was so fat George didn't need his spectacles. For that alone, there's a building in downtown Chicago. It's the Hancock Building, and he deserves that just for that alone. But no, the thing is that Declaration of Independence, for all those men knew, they were signing their own death warrants. It was as dangerous as a heart attack to sign the Declaration of Independence. So, anyway. Burns says, good King George, he was crazy, just like our present king. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I thought we did something about this. Oh, sorry about this. My lipstick messing up. Lucid Pause is my William Floyd. Did he sign it? And I know he's not your descendant, but yes, Canadian Poodle Mom. If only Congress and senators had that courage. House and Senate. Yeah. Mayor says most of them were young too. Yeah. But anyway. All right, but here we are on March 10th, Tuesday, March 10th, 2026, on the 250th year anniversary of the founding of this country. Bless them. What is it? What's wrong? What is wrong with the kitty? Is the kitty okay? What's up? You doing all right? How you doing, boo-boo? You seem upset about something. I know. He's still our president. I know he's still our president, but he won't be forever. He won't be our president forever. No, he won't. It'll be okay. It'll be okay, good boy. It'll be okay. Oh, precious one. Oh, he's a precious one. No. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Yes, he is. Oh, precious one. You are the precious one. So I just got completely hijacked. I will get the questions, I promise. But if I move this down here, you could also come up right up there. There's a nice spot for a kitty. All right, so at 6 minutes, 30 seconds in, Sharon had a question. How you doing? How are you doing, precious? Oh, he's a good boy. There you go. What do you think? All right. No, he says, I don't like that. I want to be here. I want to be in the middle of everything and be as disruptive as I possibly can be. Oh, he's a good boy. Yes, he is. Good boy. All right, so at 7:10. Several readers have seen His Horridness fleeing to the Middle East and ruling from there. Oh, he would not be ruling from there for long. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh. Hence the Venezuelan funds into his private bank accounts. Oh, no, he's stealing. He's robbing us blind. There's no question about that. He's absolutely robbing us blind. But now that he has targeted Iran, who in turn targeted other Middle Eastern nations, is he now persona non grata? Any funds he has hidden there are now seized. So, yeah. I've never picked up that he wants to flee the country, and right now he doesn't have any reason to believe he would need to flee the country. Honestly. He's got the DOJ doing exactly what he wants. He's got a Republican Party that is not holding him accountable for anything. His dementia is proceeding apace, and he's not held accountable for any of the awful things he's been saying. Lewis is asking, where would he go? Everyone hates him. Well, I mean, he has a lot of money, and we know that there are people in this world who, unfortunately, too many of them, who believe in money over decency any day of the week. So, Visualize 70 says, Dumpy's playing the market, sending the oil prices up and down. Let's put the cards up here so I don't disturb the kitty. He likes where he is because he can see out the window. Is he with it enough to even know what kind of trouble he's in? Well, then again, what kind of trouble is he in? Who's going to hold him accountable? Temperance Moon. 5 of Wands. Secrets. Page of Pentacles. He's not. I don't see him going anywhere. There should be temperance, but he's as crazy as he wants to be. Mad King Donald. So still stirring up trouble. He's got all kind of money overseas. If in future they try to hold any of the Trump boys accountable, which would be lovely, they might flee. But I don't see Dumpster Fire leaving. So all right. Let's see here. You're doing okay, boo-boo. Hello, Valerie. Okay, so all right, we need at 11:05, we need to talk about the Strait of Hormuz. At 11:05. Oh. Okay. So the Strait of Hormuz thing is a big issue. And Aaron Parnas was reporting that Trump threatened to strike Iran, quote, 20 times harder, unquote, if it disrupts oil through the Strait of Hormuz, framing the demand as protection for China and other oil-dependent nations. Oh, yes, Trump is all about protecting China. Sharon's asking, yes, but will his overseas funds be seized? Oh, I'm having trouble even getting energy on that because there are so many rich people who have squirreled away so much blood money that if somebody's going to seize his, why wouldn't they seize other people's as well? It could set a precedence. Okay? You're so soft. You're so soft. Whoops. Yes, you are. My goodness gracious, it's a long way down. It's a long way to Tipperary. Okay, there you go. Aggressive. Nine of Cups, Ace of Cups. There's something here with him on the defensive, but there's no big pentacle here. There's no, I don't think that's an issue. So anyway, I'd be nice if there was some justice in the world, but no. But what we're talking about here is about the Strait of Hormuz is, so Trump is saying, don't you dare do anything to limit what's going through the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has said that other Gulf nations, that they are welcome to continue to use the Strait of Hormuz and all they have to do is expel their U.S. and Israeli diplomats. That's it. All you have to do is dispel those diplomats, and you can use the Strait of Hormuz no problem. And frankly, I mean, it's symbolic, but that's not the worst possible outcome. But of course, there is a massive amount of cargo that goes through that area. It's just a matter of how over the millions of years our continents have shifted, that without a couple of important places in the middle, everything has to go, you got to go around the Cape of Hope and, Cape of Good Hope and all this other stuff. It's like, whoa, that's a bad idea. So what's going to go on with the Strait of Hormuz? Because I don't believe a word coming out of Trump's mouth. So TC's asking, has anyone heard if any country has deported or has expelled the U.S. embassy personnel? I have not heard anything. Melissa says, I heard the biggest refinery in the Gulf region was drone bombed. Oh yeah, we've created acid rain. Good for us. We used to have allies, real allies. No new wars. You vote for Kamala Harris. She's going to take us into forever wars and wars and wars. But you'll be safe if you vote for Donald Jeffrey Trump. We told you this would happen. Eight of Pentacles, work under false pretenses. Secrets, money, adding insult to injury, and there's more awfulness. I'm sorry to say, but there's more war awfulness to come. There just is. So it's, I don't know. Lucid Pause says, let's chat about Doomsday Plane. What? Melissa says Trump is completely nuts. Yeah. Yeah. I do want to make sure we get at 16:45. I do want to make sure we get to the destruction. Iran war destruction, because I've shown you this many times, but do you remember when I was talking about, where is it? This. Remember I was talking about this? About how the U.S. Foundation, our home, is in Aries. So it's this kind of almost a militaristic, we have this militaristic bent at home. Second Amendment. Yay. But Neptune was coming in, and then Saturn was coming in with the receipts. Well, there was an astrologer who was pointing out that ignoring the Aries thing, but Neptune coming in and then Saturn coming in the past has it's created you get fog of war kind of thing. With Neptune there, you get Neptune rules fog. It's diffuse. And Saturn forms things. So you put them together, and you put them together in Aries, which is the martial sign, the battlefield. And you get particulates, and then Saturn condensing and making it rain. We're doing all kinds of damage. We're doing direct damage to people. We're doing long-term damage to people, because Netanyahu is a monster. Now, I don't have a problem with Jewish people. Every people are people. Depeche Mode taught us that. But no, seriously, Netanyahu and Trump are monsters. And the amount of damage we're doing is crazy. So you see all of these pictures where it's just black smoke. You can't see anything. And then at the bottom, you can just see fire, some flames. It's like, oh, look, all that garbage in the air and oh, look, it's Saturn and Neptune and Aries. Great. There's only 70 cents at the moment. I think we've got the blizzard of war. Yeah. Viking girl saying, and Putin's a monster too. Oh, heck yeah. Oh, Heck yeah. Michelle is saying, let's talk about reinstating the draft as well. I want to read on the destruction, and then we can look at that. But the thing to remember about the draft is that what created the draft for the Vietnam War expired back in the 70s. So it isn't something that's on the books that Trump can just go, oh, we'll just do that. And Republicans can go, la, 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 I don't know. There's no legal basis for it that he can, we don't trust him. But you're not going to get the young people in this country physically reporting to be deployed against their will without a whole heck of a lot behind it. So we'll get there. But the damage we're doing, Trump doesn't care. Of course he doesn't care. Theft, tower. It really wouldn't be a surprise. And I'm going to say something here. This is entirely what I'm picking up. I have I hope you understand that when you come here, you get legitimate news from legitimate sources. And if there is something, then I read on the topic. And I'm telling you right now that what I'm about to tell you, I have no basis for other than what I'm feeling. All right? So I just want to make sure that's clear. I think we're going to find out that he's making money from this somehow. Like this is the war, and that is the thief. And it isn't just stealing lives. There's something here. And that wouldn't exactly be a shock, but entertainment only YouTube. I'm just saying that's what I'm picking up. There's theft here. There's him making huge amounts of money. And again, I will ask, at a certain point, who cares? Once you have $1 billion ill-gotten, what is the difference between having $1 billion and $2 billion? Honestly. Gary says his sons now own drone businesses. Exactly. But honestly, once you have X amount of money beyond that, who cares? Why do all of this damage and awfulness? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Although I did read an article this morning about they've done more and more research, and basically the more money people have past a certain point, they've literally, I don't know how, but they've done brain scans and found that once you reach a certain amount of money or power, the mirror neurons in your head don't fire like they used to. They stop firing as much. Mirror neurons is if, like, when you're reading a book and the character's scared and there's a reason to be scared and you're starting to get anxious. That's because you're learning from what they're going through. So we have evolved to be able to put ourselves in these fictional or hypothetical situations, to pass down our knowledge through stories. So we have, they're called mirror neurons, and once you get to a certain point, they literally stop firing in your brain. So there's literally, they can see in your brain you have less empathy, you care less, you feel other people's pain less. Yeah, I'm trying to get a sense on the destruction of the war, but I've got the man, all the heartache, adding insult to injury, buckets of money, buckets and buckets and buckets of money going toward Trump. 3 of Cups, celebration. What do you say we celebrate by voting all of these people out of office, and then voting in people, while doing that, voting in people who will hold them accountable. Let's do that. Canadian Poodle Mom's asking, maybe it's like a drug or alcohol addiction. You keep wanting more. I guess. There was a video on YouTube. It was this guy, he bought the biggest house in Georgia. I think it was Georgia, I'm not sure. But it was it was originally built, you're going to love this. You know who it was originally built by? CEO of a medical company. Yeah, anyway, it is this massive mansion. And it turned out he was defrauding people, or his business partner went to prison. He didn't, but he had to pay back just vast quantities of money, and he has literally just disappeared. Like, he has just gone completely into hiding. Anyway, but this mansion, this huge mansion, was on the market for a while, and then there's a guy who, I guess he's a YouTuber, or he's like known for buying big properties and restoring them. And he bought this place, and he's trying to get rid of the damage. You know, there was part of one of the wings flooded. You know, this kind of stuff. And they're walking around this property, and after a while, I'm just like, why? There are a lot of really, really wealthy people in Hollywood, and you see around their house, and it's like, you live in a warehouse. Your living room is like, the living room's so big, there are like 3 whole sets of couches. There are hotels that are cozier than this. Why? What good does it do? Anyway. Yeah, I'm not saying everybody needs a tiny house. I'm just saying there's a point. Why? There's no joy. There's nothing. And then everything was gilt and gold. And some people spent months putting gold leaf on all of the details and on this endless house. Why? Oh, sorry. That's very loud. All right. Anyway, let's have a look at the at 2810. Let's have a look at the possibility of 2015. What do you call it? Conscription. The draft. That's what the draft. I think that's there we go. Draft in the U.S. again? Question mark. Rose Blue says, I wouldn't want to clean all that square footage. I know. Poodle Mom says, we call those mini Versailles. Yeah, I think he said something about he was partially inspired by Versailles. Did these people not know anything about history? Louis XIV built Versailles because he didn't want the aristocracy getting too much power. He wanted to take some of their power away. So he built this massive palace in the middle of nowhere. Well, outside of Paris, I should say. And it was so big that all the aristocracy had to come to him and stay there under his roof. And then he set these standards where they had to impoverish themselves with all of what you had to wear and what, all this stuff they had to spend money on. He literally did it to impoverish, to take power away from the aristocrats, from the aristocracy. That was literally the point. And people are like, oh, I just want to live in this palatial palace. Okay, that's dumb. Yeah. So Poodle Mom says, yeah, Marie Antoinette needed to have her petit trianon to so she could get some privacy. Yeah. Yep. So Amy says, and have you read about Versailles? It was filthy. Yeah. Yeah, it was. So, but speaking of the draft, I feel bad that I repeat myself sometimes, but certain topics come back around over the years, and I am reminded of things that just kind of make me, if not happy, I just find fascinating. And while it is not true, longtime viewers will have heard me talk about how while we know it is not true, there is a theory out there that makes a whole lot of sense, which is that the premise that you were not told about Scooby-Doo is that they are driving around, never settling altogether in that van because of the draft, because Fred and Shaggy were draft dodgers. That's the theory. It's not true, but that's the theory. And Velma was potentially LGBTQ plus in some way. And Daphne was just Fred's girlfriend. And of course, Scooby was Shaggy's dog. But that's why they were going from place to place to place and never settled down. It's not true, because the actual Scooby-Doo is actually it's based off of a television show from the early 50s that's, believe it or not, starred the same actor who played Gilligan. But there were different characters in that, and they correspond, but it makes a lot of sense. Let me just say I heard the same. Yes, Lewis, those meddling kids. It makes so much sense, though. Lewis says, I thought they were delivering like edibles. Oh, Linux says, as a Gen Xer, I had a crush on Velma. Cute glasses did it for me. Oh, Dobby Gillis. Dobby? Is it like the Harry Potter elf, or is it not like the Harry Potter elf? I think it's Dobby Gillis, but I'm not entirely sure. So, anyway. Here's the thing. We went through 9/11, and after 9/11, it made perfect sense that so many people were like, sign me up. I'm going. Multiple deployments. We're not letting this happen again. That made sense. And then we were in a Dobby Gillis. Thank you. So it's not like the Harry Potter self. Anyway, but that was then, and this is now. Burden, massive burden, and Trump is running up all these burdens, and he's not gonna send Barron. You want to do this? Send Barron. The amount of damage and destruction, and now they're just like, oh, Cuba's next. No. I don't have any love for the Cuban government, but no. That's not what we're here for. Anyway, refusal, temperance, hermit, and we just no. This is very much a refusal. Very, very much a refusal. And okay, look, I know that this man is capable of anything. I know that he has been enabled to do absolutely anything. I hope you know by now that I firmly believe that Donald Jeffrey Trump is one of the worst human beings to ever live. The only president worse than him was Andrew Jackson because of the Trail of Tears. That's it. That's the only thing that is stopping him from being the worst president ever, and one of the worst human beings ever on the face of this planet. I despise this man. There's nothing I do not believe he is capable. There's no low. There is no bottom. But I honestly believe he will not get away with setting up the new draft. I just don't. And we've already seen Republicans watching congressional races and other races, special races across the country, just going blue, 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 blue. So, yeah. Susan says, "Hallelujah, sister." There we go. Poodle Mom, yeah, he thinks he won't get into heaven. He has said that repeatedly. It's like, yeah, that's probably right. I'm curious. You know what? I'm so mad right now. 3650. Is Trump going to heaven when he shuffles off his mortal coil? Entertainment on the YouTube. Jeepers. Yes. And I think earlier, were you the one who said zoinks? All right. I'm just curious. Mad King Donald. Because everyone pops their clogs at one point. Everybody. Absolutely everybody. Entertainment purpose only. Exactly, Rose Blue. Where's he going? When President Dumpster Fire, when Donald Jeffrey Trump, when Donald leaves his body, when he's done, which happens to everybody, where's he going? Where's his spirit going? Well, first of all, he doesn't believe in God. He's a malignant narcissist. He doesn't believe there's a higher power. He doesn't. He wouldn't know to look for it. He wouldn't know. First thing is just outside the body, just there. Not. There's just nothing. If anything, you see this picture where you've got that gray smoke? It's like that. It's just nothing. Linda says Epstein is waiting. Actually, I think, my personal belief, Epstein is in a very compact place. But yeah, when Trump first leaves his body, there's nothing, because he doesn't believe in anything but himself. All right, so where does he go after that? I get this is what I always get. Through the choices you make and the level of energy you are channeling into the world, high vibration, low vibration, it's kind of a real thing. Actually, it is a real thing. And so if you have spent your life helping others, trying to help others, trying to, be good to the kitties and snuggles and helping your friends as much as you can. I mean, obviously we have to get through life. You can't just be a doormat. I'm not saying that, but you choose the higher vibration as much as you can. And maybe you learn some spirituality. Maybe you have your own you're open to having your own spiritual experiences. And you face the end with at least a thought that, there probably is something beyond this. Because there's so many people there's so many. I'm sorry, I got distracted. I'm sorry, Elizabeth. I forget what I was saying. Anyway, if you make these good decisions, there's so many people in hospice who say the same things about, my dead father, brother, friend is right there. And the nurses are like, oh, okay. And they're like, they're coming to get me tomorrow at 3. Okay. And then at 3 o'clock, gone. I mean, there are all of these things. Trump is open to none of that. None. 0. But when you leave your body, if you have done what you can to live at a reasonable vibrational level, just reasonable, then when you leave your body, your spirit is of such higher energy than the physicality of these bodies that you will probably have friends, family, pets from the other side who will go greet you. If you're really, if you feel like you're stuck, you've probably learned at some point that you can go, okay, I'm calling on angels. I want to go into the light. You kind of know some things, or you have some beliefs you can go to. Now, if you are the lowest vibration scum, like Jeffrey Epstein, the worst of the worst of the worst, one of the most heinous people to ever live, Jeffrey Epstein. When he popped out of his body, his vibration is so low that the divine above us, and then these levels of energy down to us. But then from here on down, I don't get a pit of fire. I get lower and lower vibration, and you're like compacted, darker and darker, and it's just, you're just held in place in these, and you're just on this barely still connected on this like trickle charge from higher levels, and you're just stuck there until over time, whatever that is on that side, you get enough energy from higher levels that your system can kind of reboot. Your spirit can reboot, and then all the bad you did falls upon you. You become aware of all of it. And at that point, that's when other spirits can come in and help you. But there's certainly no going anywhere up above until people who have done these utterly heinous, awful things do face what they've done and feel it. Now, where I believe Jeffrey Epstein is, I do believe he's dead. I do. Of course, I could be wrong, but I really do believe he's dead. And I believe in that compacted place, what happens is these people, they start trying to almost like morph themselves into like a monstrous looking thing. So if anybody thinks about them, they can siphon off some of that negative energy, because that's what they live on. They should be channeling energy from above, but they're not. They're just like the nasty, the glorified dust bunnies that pretend. They often pretend to be demons, or they pretend to be big, scary, whatever. It's like you're a glorified dust bunny on the astral plane. Go away. So grotesque. Yeah. Grace says it is not a pleasant thing for him. Oh, no. So, anyway, so when Donald pops out of his body, when his spirit pops out of his body, one, he's just going to see nothing. First of all, he'll just see like that gray fog, or smoke, just nothing. But then the vibration of his spirit will start pulling him down to a lower vibrational level. I don't think there's somebody that has to come along and pass judgment. I don't think there are pearly gates and someone who has to sit in judgment. I think it's as simple as like spiritual physics. So all the grossness he did, aggression, jeez. 7 deadly sins, anybody? Wrath, greed, lust. What would the fraud be? Would that be part of pride? Not sure. That's because that's not the greed. That's defrauding other people. That's a whole other thing. And you did it for a whole country. You achieved that level of power and responsibility, and look what you did with it. So, yeah. I guess I don't even know that it's up here. Where was it? Pudoma was saying asking self-judgment. I don't even know that it's judgment per se. Kathleen is saying spiritual gravity. That's kind of what I get. Where it's just you float or sink to the level of your energy, which is very much caused by your choices. So, anyway. Cindy says he's done them all. Oh, yeah. There's only 70 says 7 deadly sins. Is that all there are? Oh, no, he's got the whole... He's got the whole... If they were commemorative plates, he has the whole set, like Dolores Umbridge. Anyway. Where were we? Oh, okay, so moving on a little bit, I definitely wanted to get to the point that, for what it's worth, at 4850, the New Mexico has launched the first ever physical search of Epstein's Zorro ranch. There's a bipartisan state truth commission with subpoena power and a $2 million budget leading the probe. The property has never been searched by federal law enforcement. Now, what they're saying is they're not actually expecting there to be much evidence per se, especially considering that the property was bought through a shell corporation by basically a buddy of Epstein's, who's running for office, by the way, in Texas. And he had some earth-moving equipment there recently. Yeah. What they say they're mainly looking for is corroboration from the stories that are told about what happened there. If it can say, well, then, this door was there and they came through here, and then I was taken here that looked like this. And okay. Personally, I have to wonder if they are not going to bring cadaver dogs. Yeah. Oh, Rose Blue, bless you. Bless you. Bless you. So, Beekeeper Terror says, can you imagine the horrible energy of that place? I know, even the people who are like, oh, let's stay at this hotel. They say it's haunted. No. I have no interest. Zero. Nope. Nope. Brian is saying, my guys have been very adamant that things have been removed, so to speak, but they didn't have time to move everything. There will be discoveries. That's what I'm hoping they'll find some stuff. Poodle Mom says there is not enough sage in the world. Yeah. And people are talking about some acid that was apparently there. Amy is saying that the acid was found on the island, not at the ranch. Ugh. Secrets, secrets, secrets. Amy says Biden was probably made ill by staying at the White House after Dumpy. Sure, they never staged the place. Oh, that's true. I've always wondered about his dogs. That maybe his dogs became so aggressive for a reason. What that could be. But Zorro Ranch. First of all, bless the victims. Bless you, bless you, bless your souls. Bless your minds, your hearts. Bless you. No one deserves that. No one deserves what you went through. No one. Bless you. Meanwhile, the government has been covering this up for how long? Giving Epstein sweetheart deals. Page of Swords. Nine of Cups. This is evidence. The government, New Mexico, finally trying to do something about this. I don't know that they've got all the power they need to do things, though, or just a matter of time. I'm getting evidence. Queen of Wands. This feels like a group of perpetrators. Let's just call them that. I am getting some evidence. So, and I know that there's some people who are really angry at the federal government that nothing was done sooner and all of this. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't believe for one hot second I do not believe for 1 millisecond that Barack Obama knew about this, because he would have done something. I've not a single doubt in my mind. And if he didn't, Michelle would have killed him, or the equivalent. So cadaver dogs and whatnot. Also, Obama wasn't welcome in those elite circles of racism, and also he's not that kind of person. Yeah. Cat toy. Cindy saying I agree. Thank you. So, I have a New Mexico card. Hey, look at that. Again, temperance. Bless the victims. Some hope, some good energy. Moving in, moving out. Fool, the Queen of Swords. There is something. Because there's something here about the arrogance of the people who did this, that there is something here. That they find something. There is movement. Are we talking charges? Colleen says Obama has a higher vibration. True. Ugh. Ew. They'll find stuff, and I got to get out of this energy. East does not go away. We're not giving up on it. And this is not going to be like, oh, the new Congress gets in and then this all goes away. This is not going away. Mm-mm. There is stuff to reveal. There is a burden of stuff, and I'm getting out of this energy. Okay. Gross, gross, gross. Oof. Prizes I've been getting, the entire White House is going to pretty much have to be torn down. Sorry, after what this administration has done to it. Trump may knock it down himself. We never know. From day to day, we don't know. Anyway. All right. We're out of time. What else we got? Oh no, let's look about tomorrow. Let's take some time and look. Apparently Erica Kirk has been put on an Air Force board. Because why? What is her expertise? We'll talk about that tomorrow. Guaranteed. And I do want to leave you. I want to make sure I leave you with this. A little something to think about at 5750. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz told reporters today there is, quote, clearly no joint plan, unquote, for ending the Iran war, warning Germany and Europe have, quote, no interest in an endless war, unquote, and that Iran's collapse into a Libya-style failed state would trigger a European refugee crisis and energy catastrophe. He met with Trump in the White House on March 3rd, the first European leader to visit after the strikes. Thank you. Thank you, Germany. A century later, Germany is like, heck no. No. So thank you for that. So I want to look specifically at the Air Force Academy Board. Thank you, Amy. Yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Europe. Is Europe going to get involved? Is Europe going to, okay, what is Europe going to do here? Become a lot more insular or pull together more. Yeah, we have, they're better off than we are in some ways. Two of Wands, Seven of Wands. Yeah, there's no relying on the U.S. There's no one to turn to. They're on their own. Star. So this becomes their thing, their flag. Partnership pulling together. And this isn't so much, usually this is the card of watching your ship come in, waiting for your ship to come in. But this feels like just standing there watching the ships. So every day that Trump is in office, every day he is as awful as he is, the more Europe on the whole gets stronger and more united in their own way. I'm not saying all of their problems have disappeared. I'm just saying you made Europe stronger. Dumpster fire president we have. All right. Anyway, Amy's saying other board members include Mark Wayne Mullen, I know, Tommy Tuberville, Kevin Kramer, John Hickenlooper, among others. Yeah. Oh. Anyway, we'll talk about her tomorrow. But we're going to make it through this. We are. And I didn't even look at the thing, but I think it's going to be okay. I would assume it's going to be okay. But yeah, our founding documents are going on a road trip. And so that'll be nice. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union. My brain went blank for a second. Okay. But anyway, Cheryl says, I'll off to donate some platelets. Oh, thank you for doing that. Thank you. All right, it is 1:19 p.m. Here in Chicago. At 3 o'clock, I'll be over on the Creative Sprints channel. You're always welcome. We're just productive and we don't talk about politics. But anyway, other than that, I will be right back here tomorrow. I've got stuff in the works, stuff to show you. It's research. There's all kind of stuff coming. So we'll get there. And every weekday, weekend, holiday, your birthday, my birthday, you have this community here. So every day. Please remember you're not alone. We're in this together. There are good days ahead. There are. Hang in there. All right. And as always, I'll see you later. Okay. Bye.